What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including sad news for Saraya, Carmella responds to a supposed explicit video that's been released, Drew thought fans would nearly riot at Clash at the Castle, an AEW injury, Brock Lesnar's huge next opponent, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out Wrestlelamia.co.uk and our non-wrestling channel, Incredible. And now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at a big bout planned for Brock Lesnar. At top of today's news is a rumor concerning Brock Lesnar's next opponent. You may recall Lesnar was scheduled to wrestle at Day 1, but recent reports suggest he's also competing at November's Crown Jewel. Up until recently, it was unknown who the Beast Incarnate would face. Now Dave Meltzer's reported that fans could see Lesnar lace up the boots to take on UFC Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier. Cormier, who will referee the fight pit match between Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle at this week's Extreme Rules pay-per-view, may be sticking around for another fight. Meltzer mused on the Wrestling Observer Radio that his Cormier name has been mentioned many times as potentially being a commentator on SmackDown. Fox loves him from when he did the UFCs, but he's with ESPN, so it becomes kinda tricky, although you could get that done. But they have McAfee, and McAfee's their guy, and I think they see McAfee as a bigger celebrity than Cormier. Lesnar vs Cormier seems like the perfect style match for a show like Crown Jewel, where the Saudi government look for Wrestlemania caliber matches to justify the small fortune it pays to WWE annually. Fans will have to wait and see whether Cormier will serve as a color commentator on SmackDown. With the popular Pat McAfee taking time off from calling matches on the Blue brand, the WWE undoubtedly wants someone who can match Pat in popularity and share enthusiasm for the product. Unfortunately, that's easier said than done. Would you guys like to see this match happen? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, sad news for Saraya. A sad news to report as current AEW star Saraya's uncle Jules Bevis died during a recent charity boxing match. Saraya tweeted her condolence. "Keep thinking about my uncle. What a wonderful human he was. Up until the end he had a heart of gold. He was doing a charity boxing match at my dad's wrestling PC, raising money for a little girl for her cancer treatment. In the ring he collapsed and passed in my brother Roy's arms. Just want to give Ricky Knight, real Saraya K, and real Roy Knight the biggest hug because I can't imagine how it felt seeing that and being there. Swamped them with love." According to a statement released to the Mirror, officers were called to the match in Diamond Road, Norwich at 3:47 PM this afternoon to reports of a sudden death after a man in his 50s had become unwell during the event. Emergency services, including ambulance and police, were in attendance, but despite medical treatment, he was sadly pronounced dead at the scene. Now we send our condolences to Saraya, her family, and their friends. Next up, Carmella responds to a supposed explicit video of her and Corey Graves. If you think you've been watching an explicit video of WWE superstars Carmella and Corey Graves, you may have been fooled. The video recently went viral, with some believing it belongs to the WWE's real-life married couple. However, Carmella denied this, tweeting, "Y'all really want to see me fail, huh? Photoshop is on another level these days. She's cute, but she ain't me." While some fans noted that the man has a tattoo identical to Corey Graves, Wrestling News' Paul Davis pointed out that apparently some people are claiming that the man in the video has a tattoo that Graves has. The only problem with that is that the tattoo was digitally added and does not match the original version of the video that was posted elsewhere. Carmella received support from her fans and fellow wrestlers Natalya, the Queen of Hearts, tweeting, "Often intimidated, but never duplicated." Next up, Drew McIntyre's fear of fans rioting at Cardiff. A Clash at the Castle's Drew McIntyre vs Roman Reigns match was one of the biggest bouts in recent history, with the fans in Cardiff going wild as they watched the Scottish Warrior take the undisputed champion to the limit. Anyone who attended or watched the show will tell you it was one of the hottest crowds ever at a WWE event, so much that Drew McIntyre was concerned that the fans would riot when the tribal chief cheated his way to another win. During a chat with My San Antonio, Drew discussed the fans' intensity. "The buzz was incredible. It was the first UK stadium show in 30 years. The main event was then the British Bulldog vs Bret the Hitman Hart, but now I was in the main event. We took over the stadium and my face was plastered everywhere in Cardiff. It was such a surreal feeling because I grew up wrestling in those areas when I was at university. Now to be back and to hear the crowd, which I thought would be like 70-30 like it was for Bulldog vs Hart, and he was English and it was in England. I'm not technically from Wales and I'm not even English, but they were 100% for me and against Roman, and the atmosphere was great." McIntyre pointed out how Roman agreed with him about the fans' response. "I even asked Roman afterwards because he's been part of these matches with big crowds. Have you ever heard anything like that?" And he said, "No. You'd be hard pressed to find a crowd that was that loud consistently throughout, especially in our match. It was a World Cup soccer match, the way that they were shouting, the way they were singing their songs and chanting F you Roman the entire time. And we're not happy with that finish. I was generally concerned about rioting. That's the reason we did what we did after the match. While Drew's concern about a riot may have been a bit of hype, there was a time when fans did riot when things went awry for babyfaces. Nevertheless, Drew's impromptu singing session with Tyson Fury may have at least calmed some fans down. Next up, a big decision in a trial jury concerning Randy Orton's tattoo. A potential huge decision concerning tattoo artist Catherine Alexander's lawsuit against the WWE and several video game companies who used a tattoo she designed for Orton in its video games. Alexander has sued the various parties, alleging they used her tattoo designs for Orton without her permission. According to PW Insider, the jury ruled in Alexander's favor, ruling that the defendant's fair use claim lacked merit. That Alexander was entitled to $3,750 in damages for the use of the tattoo design, and that the video game's profit from the tattoo amounted to $0. While these damages may seem small, the case itself could be a major precedent for future cases, as it's possible that other tattoo artists could file similar lawsuits for instances where the designs were used without their permission. Now keep in mind, it's likely that the case will be appealed, and it's possible it could be overturned by a higher court. Next up, an injury update on an NXT superstar. There's more news to report on NXT superstar Tony D'Angelo, as the 3rd October Wrestling Observer newsletter reports. The Tony D'Angelo injury from 2 weeks ago aired on NXT this week. The actual spot was unremarkable. He took a drop toe hold from Wes Lee in the corner. The knee hit the mat and it wasn't twisted or contorted, but somehow it went out. It appeared watching that match that it wasn't moving well before it went out, like there was an issue that somehow that spot took it out completely. Meltzer detailed what happened next and when fans can expect D'Angelo back. The ref checked with D'Angelo and he saw he couldn't get up and he just stopped the match. The last word was that he would be out 6 to 8 weeks, but that info is more than a week old, so we didn't need major surgery. Now we wish Tony D'Angelo a fast and full recovery. Next up, Dustin Rhodes dealing with a knee issue. Wondering where AEW star Dustin Rhodes has been? Well, according to PW Insider, the artist formerly known as Goldust had been dealing with a knee issue. Even at 53, Dustin continues to put on excellent performances in the ring as he shares his decades of experience with the younger wrestlers in AEW. Next up, Ricky Steamboat's opponent revealed. There's more info on Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's return match, as fans now know who the WWE Hall of Famer will be facing in the ring. Well, almost. Cultaholic's Aidan Gibbon is reporting, at Big Time Wrestling's Return of the Dragon show on November 27th, Ricky Steamboat will team with FTR to take on Black Machismo aka Jay Lethal, Brock Anderson, and a mystery opponent. Arn Anderson will be the heel's team's manager. Dragon reportedly had an opportunity to face longtime rival Nature Boy Ric Flair in Flair's so-called final match, but turned it down. While Flair said he would not wrestle again, that's how many times have we heard that, Flair is now boasting that he's open to wrestle again. However, fans shouldn't expect to see Flair appear as Lethal and Anderson's mystery partner. While Flair would certainly make for a great mystery partner, any wise promoter would make Flair's presence known in advance to capitalize on it. That doesn't preclude the dirtiest player in the game showing up and setting up an angle to lead to a Steamboat vs Flair match. And finally, a WWE couple ties the knot. And last but not least, it seems like there's no end to the number of WWE couples who have hitched lately, and now 2 members of the WWE broadcast team have said "I do." Wrestling News' Paul Davis reported WWE NXT broadcasters Mackenzie Mitchell and Vic Joseph. The couple got married over the weekend in Italy. Some of the wrestling names who attended the wedding included John Morrison, Taya Valkyrie, Matt Cardona, and Chelsea Green. Cardona posted a photo from the wedding on his social media accounts. Many congratulations to the newlyweds. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.